We would like to start by reading a statement from Caltech President Thomas Rosenbaum that was released this morning. He states, "Here in LA and across the country, we gather in support of science. We march to defend an approach, a mode of inquiry based on data, evidence, and reason that has illuminated the natural world and transformed society. We are here for our nation and for our children's future. We are brought together from across the disciplines by shared values, whether we spend our time in a laboratory, over a computer, in the archives, or in a studio. We value openness and collaboration, scientific rigor, and the testing of ideas in the search for truth. The fall of our footsteps will echo over the coming days, but we as the community must continue the march for science by our daily actions year after year."
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, come on. Good morning. You know, this is a great day because I got to tell you, marches are back in vogue. You know, when you got to get your message out, you want people to know where you stand, come together, unified, sending a message that's clear that says we will not roll back the clock on the advancements that we have made to make this planet a safer, cleaner, more efficient planet for our future generations. And I'm so happy to be here to celebrate with the great minds at Caltech. Certainly, I always feel smarter when I leave this campus. But it is indeed an honor not only to be here and recognize the support from the California State Legislature. I'm here to say that on this past Thursday that we passed Assembly Resolution, Joint Resolution 9, that recognizes the March on Science. But I would go further to say this is not just a march to bring attention to the importance of science. This is also an opportunity to bring attention to the scientists, the people who have dedicated, all of you, many of you who have dedicated your life to trying to help solve problems that go beyond our normal thinking. And so you are to be congratulated, and we are to continue to put resources in to a budget that supports STEM funding so we can continue to develop young minds as they come forward to take on the mantle that you have laid out there. So congratulations, that's what this day is about. This day is also about remembering, because when President Kennedy laid down the gauntlet and said, "We are going to put a man on the moon," everyone was sort of, really? But he was serious. He was saying a policy goal. And then he handed it off to the scientists. And the scientists figured out how to make it happen. And now we're exploring the far reaches of the universe. On this planet, the scientists have said, back to the policymakers, that global warming is causing the ice caps to melt. And I see a little sign here that says, and Mar-a-Lago will be underwater too. So it's incumbent that we pay attention to the science. It's incumbent that we pay attention to the data. And as a legislator in Sacramento, I commit to you that all of my decisions will continue to be based on the science and based on the data. Congratulations, and let's go get them.
Some believe that global warming is just a theory. This conflates scientific theories, which are carefully constructed scientific premises predicated on mountains of data and unified by the consensus of thousands of knowledgeable scientists, as being equivalent to anybody's off-the-cuff conjectures. Scientific theories are not random conjectures. They are based on laborious and painstaking work of many honest researchers who have dedicated their lives to uncovering truths about our world and the universe beyond. So at this critical moment, when it's often difficult to separate truth from obfuscation, and in many cases from deliberate and outright falsehoods, science serves as a beacon of enlightenment for our nation. Historically, science has been central to our nation's solid intellectual and economic foundation, as you've heard some examples today. And accordingly, it cannot and it must not be suppressed or starved into dysfunction. I urge you to join with all of us to work together to ensure that the U.S. scientific research remains the world's paragon of excellence. Thank you.
We want clean air. We want clean water. We want our children to live in a world where they can be healthy outdoors. Right? 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 So that's why it's important. My father was an electrical engineer. His calculus was 10 times better than mine. That's why I had to become a politician. But he instilled in us to take the time to read the words on the page, to take the time to look and listen to our teachers and our educators and learn how we can not only be good people, but good stewards of our world and our country and our earth. And we need to send that message. Be good stewards, Washington. Don't put the interests of people who aren't good stewards ahead of the people who want to breathe clean air and drink clean water. Right? So I'm here to say thank you to the 1,000 people who are here.
Friends, and especially all of our local supporters that are not actually themselves scientists. It's so wonderful to see all of you out here. Now, I would say it's a pleasure to be speaking, except that I'm following Senator Portantino, and that was quite an unbelievable talk he just gave. So I'll try to wade through my words as best I can. We're gathered here to celebrate science and its promise in service to our nation and to mankind. I'd like to first take a moment to boast and actually to geek out a little bit. What other small town or major city can claim that it's driving a bionic car on another planet? I refer, of course, to the aptly named Curiosity rover, which, after managing an 8.5-month, 350 million mile trek to catch up with planet Mars, scored a perfect 10 for its entry, descent, and landing in Gale Crater on August 12th, 2012. Now, some of you may not know, but remarkably, that very same August, another older but also locally built instrument, and of course, refer to JPL, the Voyager 1 became the first and still only human-made object to enter interstellar space, traveling further than anyone or anything in history, period. Built here and launched from Cape Canaveral back in 1977, the heart of Voyager 1 continues to beat its pulse homeward as it races ever further into the heavens at some 17 kilometers per second.